True Detective director Cary Fukunaga has dropped out of helming the movie adaptation of Stephen King's It. According to The Wrap, Fukunaga left the project after clashing with the studio over budget cuts demanded by New Line. No official word yet on who would be taking over the project or what direction will be taken. Mark, do you buy or sell Fukunaga leaving It?
I cannot buy this. I cannot buy this piece of information.
My ears are bleeding. It's worse than the clown.
I am selling this harder than I will sell my own awful French accent. This is really a bummer to me. I mean, obviously I buy that it's happening, but for the project itself, this is a huge bummer. I was really excited that Fukunaga was going to do this film. But then you hear what his vision of it was, and I understand that once it left Warner Brothers' hands, because he wanted to do it like they did that early 90s version in 2 parts. So you want 2 different movies. That's a lot to bite off, especially if it is a known property, but it's not your Dracula or your Frankenstein. So it doesn't have that built-in fan base yet that I think that you would hope if you're going to make multiple films at one time. Plus, it goes to New Line, and New Line is concerned about the budget anyway, and then you want to make 2 movies, and then you want to shoot it in New York City, which is the most expensive place to make a movie. I understand from New Line's perspective that they just want to make a movie that doesn't cost as much, but for a fan, I was so pumped to see what the guy who brought True Detective to such cool life could do with a story like it. I thought he was the perfect choice, so this is really, it's a hard day in the Ellis family.
I'm going to sell it as well because, people know I'm not a huge horror fan, but I was mainly interested because of Fukunaga and what he did with True Detective. And he also talked very passionately about the project and about his love for the book. And so him leaving to me is just, I don't know, I have no interest now in seeing it. And what happens to, what's his name, William Poulter, the guy that cast as Pennywise? I don't know what happens with him now.
Yeah. It's fine. I mean, I'll buy him leaving if he's saying I needed to make my movie this way and I'm taking off. So I'll buy it on that element. I believe it's still Warner Brothers though, because New Line has a deal with Warner Brothers.
I don't know studio stuff. I just thought it was Warner Brothers, then it was
New Line has a deal with Warner Brothers. They're just like the production company, but they still have the same type of deal. But yeah, to have New Line calling the shots over there and cutting budgets, you let this guy do what he wants to do at this point. He's coming off of that. True Detective was unlike anything we ever seen before because it was essentially that was 10 episodes, right? 8 episodes. So that was a movie. That was just an 8-hour-long film that fit together so well with what he did. Like you guys, I was super excited to hear what this guy was going to bring to it. And now he's gone, and it's like, who are they going to bring in now? You're absolutely right, Dennis. This was why I was excited for this, because I wanted to see his take for what he brought to True Detective, and now bring in here. Don't even do it anymore. Seriously, don't do it anymore, because this is going to become some generic remake now, as opposed to a fresh take of someone who is excited about the book. I say either get him back, give him the money that he wants, or don't do it.
But from a studio perspective, I can totally understand him coming with this thing, and it's like, yeah, look, maybe it'll be a great piece of art that you're going to make, but we're not sure this is going to make the money that it's going to cost to make this thing. If he wants to make 2 films, and he wants to film in New York City, that costs a lot of money.
Yeah,
so I understand from a studio perspective them saying like, look, dude, I know what you did with True Detective. We get that you're talented and you have a great vision for this, but this is too much for us.
And if I was Fukunaga, I would say to them, okay, wait a minute. But now look at the money that you spent on Horrible Bosses 2 and this and that and then all the movies that they dumped in all this money for, that they've had. New Line has had tons of movies that have ate it.
That's probably why they don't want to spend as much money.
Right, but it's like, but why do you hire on a talent like that and then say, nah, no thanks, we're not going to trust in your vision? So he went over, if he's going over for that guy and what he's done and what he did with 8 episodes of a television show with big top stars. It wasn't just some random television show. It wasn't just a TV director. That one shot he did in True Detective, everyone's talking about that. So I don't know.
I heard they were also they were upset that he hired a no-name actor for Pennywise. They wanted a name actor as well. So that was another.
Did they not see the picture of Poulter as the clown that we put up here when we talked about that? He was Pennywise.